Alright, welcome guys. This is the Epic 7 aeWinter preview video, and we're just going to be going over what they revealed to us and my thoughts about her place in the meta, how good she's going to be, where she can be used, best builds, and yeah, overall, basically just a hero review here. First impressions. So yeah, let's get into it. Cool. So here's our lady. Cool design. Epic 7 cool style as always. No complaints. Always impressive. So yeah, we'll pause it here. Quick overview of her stats. She's a fire thief, which is cool. We don't have too many meta fire heroes. So always cool to see somebody who might be useful in the fire niche, especially with decently high speed. But yeah, we have lower end attack, about average HP, speed on the higher end, defense average on the lower end, 15 crit chance, base crit damage, 3% dual attack chance, cool, and big built-in effectiveness. Her imprint concentration is crit chance, so that is good. Lots of stats from there. But yeah, this sort of might give you an idea that she wants to be maybe a more control-focused, faster thief, which is a cool niche. So yeah. Skill introduction. Yeah, start off with her passive. This is sort of the crux of her kit, and I think it's really cool niche that she gets from her passive here. So at the start of the battle and at the end of the turn, she gets stealth for 1 turn. So she built-in guiding light sort of, and guaranteed stealth for 1 turn at the end of every turn. So she's going to be hard to focus down. She's going to pop up after every turn. She's fast, so she's going to get a lot of turns. Maybe you want to build her with RNL, so she can be annoying like Para, but yeah, she's going to be sticky, annoying, and she's going to be able to pop off her skills a bunch. Lots of control. So after an enemy uses a non-attack skill, dispels all buffs from the caster and activates level up. So sort of like Celine, and actually the same cooldown. It ends up being 2 turns after Molgora. She gets to respond to non-attack skills, so think Conquer Lilius, Ran, Para, Lua, a lot of these toxic like openers that you see all the time in the PvP meta. She's going to be able to play into, which is cool. When somebody uses a non-attack skill, dispels all debuffs from the caster and activates level up. So this is cool. So if Conquer Lilius puts attack down on her, she instantly cleanses herself and activates level up. Level up grants immunity to the caster for 2 turns and fully resets skill cooldown of Blackout. So great versus Conquer Lilius because she cleanses the attack debuff off, and she grants immunity to herself, so she can't be provoked later. Fully resets the cooldown of Blackout, so she's good against Lua if Lua tries to reset her skill cooldown or put her to sleep or whatever. And she uses her non-attack skill. She cleanses the sleep, resets her skill cooldown of Blackout. Yeah, she can be played into a lot of these new powerful characters that they're coming out with, which is super cool. Yeah. So yeah, here's an example of it being used. They showcase it versus Lua. Boom. Yeah, she gets her cooldown back. Blackout. Blackout is cool because it is an attack that stuns for 2 turns. Not many people have this skill. I think Wanda does, and like Hines, but you don't really see those guys a lot. But stunning for 2 turns is an awesome deal. It can be used versus characters like Mediator Cowrick, because it stuns for 2 turns instead of just 1. Yeah, if you hit it on somebody who's not who doesn't have a good cleanse on their team, or maybe you lock down their cleanser, they're probably just going to be out of the match the entire game. And yeah, you get some extra combat readiness 50%. Some turn cycling in there. Critical hit will deal an additional 5,000 fixed damage. Increases fixed damage by 5,000 every time the skill is used, stacking up to 3 times. So yeah, very cool. You have your stun. Maybe a good spaz girlfriend in here. Increases combat readiness of the caster by 50%. So turn cycling. Critical hit will deal an additional 5,000 fixed damage, which scales with the number of times you use it. So even if you don't have the gear to build her full damage, or if you decide to build her tanky effectiveness, control character, you're still doing some good damage. And this synergizes super well with her passive, because every 2 turns, if they decide to use another non-attack skill, or if they have like a Dean or a Soul Weaver on their team, popping off non-attack skills all the time, this is going to reset from her skill 2, and it's going to deal 5,000 more damage the next time. So super cool character. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, show the animation here. She's skilled in using every weapon, drops down a skyscraper, boom, stun for 2 turns, cool. Yeah, her first, a nice utility skill, attacks the enemy with a sword and has a 30% chance to stun for 1 turn, has the Paris Soulburn where that effect chance increases to 100%, attacks the enemy, yeah, so, nice utility. You'll be stunning people. You're always in stealth, so people can't hit you super easy. And every time this character's turn comes around, you'll make the other guy quiver in their boots that they're gonna get stunned. So yeah, those are the skills. Let's see it in action. Boom, stun, cool. Yeah, so, cool character. Her artifact is very cool. It has built-in 15% crit chance, which is always nice. After using a non-attack skill, grants a barrier scaling with level, which is a cool new mechanic. It's sort of like what Para does, where she gets a huge flat barrier scaling with level. So you don't need to focus on I don't know, going full tank to get the maximum value for your barrier. Whatever build you want, as long as she's level 60, she's going to get her 1800 to 3600 shield. Super cool. The only way that this character has to activate this shield is by her passive. So if she's facing one of these non-attack skills, then she'll grant herself a barrier too. But I was thinking that maybe well, the fact that this artifact exists says that after using a non-attack skill, this activates. But that also means that this character here can use Secret Art Storm Sword, which I think would be super good a way for this for Winter to be maybe an anti-cleave. You get some cut, you interrupt the enemy's plans. They're using Conquer Lilius or something. You don't even have to build your Winter that fast. You just put Secret Art Storm Sword on her. Conquer Lilius goes. Your Winter steals a turn. She gets 24 combat readiness. She goes, locks somebody down for 2 turns, and yeah, it seems like she could be a super good disruptor. I think this artifact is okay, but I think like maybe the best build for it might be on somebody like Spirit Eye Celine with a torrent set or something to lower her HP. That way she gets a 3,600 shield if you max it out. And she can give herself this barrier, this huge barrier that's over half her HP, and then people just have to waste so many attacks trying to break the barrier and kill her. I think that could be a good build for this artifact. So not necessarily the most game changing, but maybe it has its uses somewhere. Yeah, so that's cool. Unfortunately, it is a pay-to-win artifact. The barrier scales with level, but you do get that 15% crit chance if maybe that's all you need to make a character good. Lobby animation, very cool. So yeah, she looks good. She can be played into these super common meta heroes like Lua, Conqueror, Lilius. She can be played into even characters that aren't necessarily super meta. Her S2 is going to activate off of Lionheart Surmia. It's going to activate off of Maid Chloe. It's going to activate off of Soul Weavers if they run like an Amelia or a Dean or something. Yeah, she seems really good, and she doesn't necessarily even need her S2 to activate to be useful. That's just there if she needs it. She has that 2-turn stun on whoever. I mentioned earlier, maybe a new good Spez girlfriend. But yeah, she looks good. Excited. She's coming out tomorrow. Cool. Alright, yeah, that'll be it for today. Stay tuned. I'm going to go over, like, Ning, I think. And we'll do a Zio review here before he comes out. But yeah, cool stuff. Lots of big updates coming to Epic 7. So, yeah. Peace.